Welcome back. We are here with another episode of the Real Podcast. We brought a buddy today. We had guests last week, Adam, but we have Matt Lane here with House of Gains, man. Happy to have you on today. And just give us a little bit of insight. I know a lot of people might have seen you on Instagram. And
I'm around. I'm around the internet from time to time.
Yeah. So, but give us just a little breakdown about who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into having some fun here.
All right. So my name is Matt Lane. I'm the owner of House of Gains. We have 2 retail locations, one in York, one in Lancaster. I own my own brand, and I am a full-time entrepreneur.
Nice.
So, I feel like you're an entrepreneur when you quit your job. So I quit my job probably about 6-7 years ago, and I've been doing this full-time ever since.
Awesome. What'd you do before?
Bartending.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did
It's probably a lot
bartending.
more fun.
This?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude, I hate bartending.
I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I actually liked bartending.
It's fun most of the time.
After hours is what I love.
Yeah. And the employee, the one thing that I miss about the restaurant industry is the interactions with staff.
Yeah.
So the customers I could take or leave, but something about working in a restaurant is it's always chaos. There's always somebody getting pregnant. There's somebody on drugs. I worked at Cheddar's in York as a bartender there when I first moved back from North Carolina. And there was people living some of our employees were living in the Motel 6 across the street. It's 7 of them.
It is a wild, just
No one cares.
group of individuals that work in the restaurant and bar business.
Bag tag.
Yes. If they can figure out how to use the traits that they do have, though, talking to people and the good ones.
Yeah.
Being able to operate in chaos is pretty difficult.
Yeah.
But people, you always know when you got a shit server or a shit bartender when they look like they're in the weeds, just
I don't know what's going on. I'm like, bro, it's cool.
It's just dinner time on a Thursday, brother.
Take a deep breath. It's not a big deal. If my appetizer comes with my meal, I'll be okay. But the problem is you have people who aren't like that. And I still, to this day, I remember the day I decided to quit everything and just go, because I had been doing personal training for years while I was bartending.
Sure.
Originally, before I started House of Gains, I started bartending. Then I got into personal training because I've always just been obsessed with the gym. It's the only thing that I like. You like Lambos and watches and shit like that. I don't. I like it, but I'm too cheap to buy it, and I just feel like I'm not in a position where that's something I aspirate for or aspire to have at this present time. And I was bartending, doing personal training, and then I decided I was going to go to school to be a physical therapist. I wanted to be a doctor, and so I was doing all 3 of those things at the same time. And then I came up with the idea for House of Gains and to really push the personal training side of things, because then I could be independent. And I was honestly, I really did want to be a doctor. But I figured I was 26, 27. I was like, if I'm going to take any shot at this, I might as well take it now. So that idea had been floating around in my head for a minute, and working in a restaurant bar, you get a lot of takeout food, and I had this lady come. I can remember it was fried catfish with green beans and broccoli cheese casserole. This was 7 years ago.
Also, the broccoli cheese casserole. Shout out to Cheddar's on that.
Bro, that shit
is fire.
It's so good. I eat it every time I go there. I still go there to this day.
Which is wild because I've been there probably 5 or 6 times, and the rest of their food is pretty ass.
Yeah, it's mid.
It's
mid as hell.
Yeah, it's not
it's
that
good
great
for what you pay for.
But you get your couple things that are
very
fire.
well priced though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's mid. It's mid priced.
You need somewhere to go.
Yeah.
But their broccoli cheese casserole, it is so fire.
Yeah.
I could just go there and eat that in their croissants.
I've done that before. I've eaten that as dinner many, many times.
They have a New Orleans pasta that's pretty fire.
It's actually just a fun fact. So if you cook chicken, sausage, green peppers, onions in Cajun seasoning, you cook the penne pasta separate, and then you mix salsa and Alfredo mix. That's their New Orleans pasta. So you can make it at home, guys.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so if you're ever looking for that, you just literally take a ladle.
It is fire, though.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Take a ladle of good Alfredo and a little bit of salsa, mix that in, toss it in with the noodles and the peppers and onions and everything.
And that's it.
Good to go. That's all it is. Yeah. Just throw a little salsa.
Tip of the day.
Yeah,
Take
seriously.
that home.
Hey, Michaela, can you make that for me
Right?
tonight?
It's good. So I remember this lady ordered a takeout, fried catfish, broccoli cheese casserole, and I can't remember the other.
Green beans.
Green beans.
And the catfish wasn't crispy enough. This is a $10 meal, dude. Like,
Yeah.
and it's takeout, so like sometimes your stuff will come and it'll sit because you
It's in a box.
Yeah,
Right, it's in a
fucking
box.
styrofoam box. There's condensation.
Right.
It's gonna take away from, you know what I mean,
The
the crisp.
crispiness, yes.
And I remember she was so upset about it, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, dude, it's $10. I literally wanted to, and I was not wealthy at any point, like at all, ever. And I was just like, I'm about to light a $20 bill on fire in front of
And
this
just
lady because you were acting like a child.
Yeah.
About a $10 piece.
Go
of
home, throw
fried
it in the oven.
It's not even real catfish, dude. It's swai. It's Vietnamese swai. So like, what are you upset about, dude? This isn't like from Florida. This isn't from Georgia. Like this is imported from like the worst part of the jungle in Vietnam. Like it's not a big deal, dude. Eat the fucking catfish for $10 and go away about it. And she was so upset. And like, my job is to fix the solution. But like when I'm standing there and I'm like 26 years old and I'm like, I finally realized what I wanted to do in life. And I'm like, why the
Wasn't
fuck
that?
am I listening to this lady about this shit? So I like went back and I got her food ready. I got her happy and everything, sent her on her way. The trick is to put the sides in different containers and put the fish in it else so the condensation doesn't get for anybody. Anyway, for all my bartenders out there, start putting the sides separate. So I calmly went back to my manager after she left and I was like, I'll finish out my next 2 weeks. Keep me on the schedule, but don't schedule me anymore. And in the restaurant industry, you have people that freak out and they're like, I can't do this anymore. I quit. And they start crying and you're like, dude, just relax. Shit, it's my big thing. And I use it with my employees now when stuff happens. I'm like, it's burgers and fries, bro.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal. If the customer's upset about something, just fix it. If it's unfixable, just let them go.
Yeah.
It's just not worth your mental capacity. It's not worth them freaking out. When adults want to act like children about shit, it's easier just to be like, okay, don't worry about it. We'll fix it and just ta-ta for now.
Yeah, move on.
And I went back and I was like, I'm done. And he was like, are you sure? Like, you having a bad day? And I was like, I'm having a great day. I just don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And he was like, you sure? And I was like, 100%, man. And I was like, I am good for the next couple shifts. Don't schedule me anymore. I'll do the best job I possibly can until I'm out, and then I'm done.
That's that.
And I walked away and never did it again. I can still, dude, I can remember this lady's face. That's how ingrained it was.
Have you ever seen her around?
No.
Hey, I remember you.
Yeah,
You changed my life.
Yeah, I literally
You
said,
and
like,
I catfish,
but
changed
thank
I
you.
should
my
buy
life.
her a fucking catfish.
A real one.
Yeah. Uber Eats it to her house. Be like, here you go.
Thank you.
for changing my life, you fucking inconsiderate asshole.
So
That's what
catfish
started.
happens?
Yeah, that's what started House of Gains. Then
I mean, that was the catalyst that got me to quit everything else and throw it all in, because you hear people like diversify, like side hustles. I hate side hustle culture. It drives me insane. I don't feel like you're an entrepreneur until you don't have a job anymore. Until all your income is solely relying on you. To me, that's not entrepreneurship. Like,
just kidding.
you got somebody that's like half in, half out.
No, so I do my own flips, but I still work for him.
That's different.
Yeah,
because that's mutually,
I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that's also like.
he used to have all the fun with no risk. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, that's fucking gangster, dude. Yeah, that's
why
like
he's-
some Patrick Bet-David shit. He talked about entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, and wantrepreneurs.
Yeah.
There's 3 different types.
Yep.
Entrepreneurs are people who work within an organization that are growing the organization as if they were an entrepreneur, but they do take some risks, but they have an umbrella that kind of keeps them within, which is actually incredibly beneficial for a company as a whole and the individual person, because they can have all the freedom, the artistic creativity, and the skill set to do the things that they want, while still being able to go home at the end of the night and not have to worry about like all the nonsense that you have to do when you run everything and everybody.
People's emotions.
Literally exactly what we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
But I love it. It is nice.
And those are great for people who are entrepreneurs too, because I look at it like this: you can get rich doing everything by yourself, but you'll get wealthy getting other people rich.
Yeah, and that's all about vision and making sure that they have opportunities to, become good and build that stuff themselves. Because I think that like a lot of people in businesses try to like put lids on, like and cap things, and when you do that, it becomes a tension of power struggle.
Yep.
And I think you lose a lot of good people that way.
You'll push people directly into your competition's hands because somebody, if they are,
or they'll become your competition.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Even
like
worse because now they know your interior designs and operations.
If you don't allow people to grow within a business and do things that they want to be able to do, you end up with your best people
being your competition, or working for your competition. I don't like that. You don't want either one of them. It's best to keep people as happy as possible. I mean, if it means you got to shave a few off your margins, whatever. You're still making money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, your bills are still getting paid. Sometimes, like I look at stuff like that now. In the beginning, when you're a lot more cash strapped, you're like, oh, I can't do this. But like my most important thing with my guys was maintaining the vision, because I'm like, this is where I want it to be. We have to do X, Y, and Z in the meantime, and it's going to mean like we're going to be a little bit more bare bones for a couple of years. But once we hit the wind, bro, we're gone. Yeah. Nobody will catch us. So that's where we're at that point now.
So 26, dropped it, said I'm done serving ladies catfish, and decided you can go all in. What did all in look like for you? I mean, I think that's something we all talk about a lot of times. I think a lot of people have a different perspective of what it actually looks like to go all in, because my thought process on it is the amount of sacrifice and things people don't really even want to really bring to the table and talk about. But
I was just going to say, and even for you, I feel like it probably is a little bit different than some others. I mean, like, in our industry, you can almost start without a ton of overhead, marketing, things like that. But you're brick and mortar. So did you start not brick and, or were you all in brick and mortar?
No. So, when I started everything, I was doing personal training, and then I was selling kind of other people's products. Not I wasn't making money off it. I was like, these are like, a client would come to me. I'd be like, all right, you need to take these things, go buy them from here. This is the stuff that I recommend. Send them to like Vitamin Shop at GNC. And I'm like, I'm sending these people thousands of dollars every month in referrals. I'm not making shit off of it. Yeah. And I was like, this sucks, dude. Like, I'm like, there's gotta be, because when you're a personal trainer, you're capped based off your hourly rate. Yeah. And even doing coaching, you're capped based off how many programs you can write, how many clients you can get. And I felt like I was chasing my tail, and I was like, and personal training is difficult, man. Like, you're mostly training, like, you know what I mean, middle-aged moms and like older people and stuff. And like, I don't not like doing that, but it wasn't like putting a fire in my ass anymore. And I was like,
so many hours in a day.
Yeah. And I was like, I want to figure out a way that I can make money in perpetuity. I want to make money while I'm not doing something. While I'm doing other shit. I want to, like, I was in Columbus at the Arnold, and I'm like, checking my phone. And I'm like, store did great today. I like showed my wife. I'm like, what we did today? And she's just like, holy shit. And I'm like, holy shit, right. Like, anyway, let's go meet this vendor. Yeah. And so I decided that, and it's funny when I talk to guys in my industry, because now I have friends that are like I have friends that own 9-figure companies. Like, so it's like way different. And I tell them how I started, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, I started my brand before I had a store. And like, we did our own manufacturing before I even had a brand. I've never worked in manufacturing. I've never worked in marketing. I've never worked in a fucking retail store in my life. So like, I decided to start a brand. This is before I knew about contract manufacturing, but I was like looking at stuff, and I'm like, this can't be that fucking hard. You know what I mean? You're just mixing powders with flavor. Like, and I know what tastes good because I've worked in the restaurant industry before. I know what people like.
Catfish.
Yeah, catfish, bro. It's funny. The first company that we found flavorings for, they do flavoring for like every organization, like every industry. And there's like Worcestershire flavoring. There's dog food flavoring. So like, if you want to make something, like if you're going to make food for dogs, like a lot of homemade dog treats, you have to get food, like flavorings that dogs, you know what I mean, hit their palate. Yeah. So like, I was like,
I don't make everything.
Yeah. They don't make most dogs. So like, we started our own. I'll send you the picture of like our original branding. It's terrible. It's so bad, dude. I mean, it was because House of Gains. This was when Run the Jewels came out. like got really, really popular, and I'm a huge like Run the Jewels fan. So it had like the chain and like the finger guns, and House of Gains was written in graffiti, and they were in bags. It was so ghetto. And that's how it started. I just started selling it. My first event,
hustling gear out the back door, bro.
I'm like, yo, I got creatine, blue raspberry. You know what I mean? In a bag.
Yeah.
In a bag.
Can I get an eighth? Can I get an eighth of that?
Yeah, right. It's literally like
Cops
what a
show
heat
up.
sealer. We were printing the labels off of a regular home printer. Now I have, you know what I mean, like big texture
facility.
Yeah, they're like. So, I started that. Was basically just I originally wanted to just do wholesale and e-com, and then focus on personal training. And I had a little pro shop at the gym that I was training at in New York. The owner was older. He had no idea how to sell supplements or anything. And a lot of people at the gym, because like, I mean, York's a fairly small town. A lot of people were like, yo, let's give the homie a hookup. Like, and they were buying their stuff from me. And I would be with clients a lot. So I'm like, let's just put it in the pro shop, and then they can start there. And that's really how it started. And then I was trying to work with a retailer in the area, and it didn't work out. And I was just like, you know what? I found the gym that I was working at got bought out by the hotel across the street. They wanted to recruit me to work for them. And I was like, I don't want to. And this is right at like 6 months after I quit bartending. And I was like, dude, I don't want to go work for these fucking people. I knew the gym that I was at, the pro shop, it was gone. They were going to be closed in 3 months. So I found a computer repair store that the owner wanted to get out of his lease. He was just trying to sublet, and he had like 10 months left on it. So I went in, contacted the guy, contacted the property management company, and was like, I want to sublet this guy's space. We moved in. I had like no money. I hand built all the shelves. I repurposed everything that they had, and just kind of like opened the door and was like, I have a store now. Like, and then it started to take hold, and I did go all in. Like, when people, if especially in what I do.
Were you married at that point?
No.
Okay.
My wife and I literally, she was going through a divorce. We had been friends for a long time. We kept in contact. Our personalities meshed, you know what I mean? And when it's funny because without, divulging too much of our personal life, but I mean, she was in her previous marriage, she was married to a very stable income, you know what I mean? And a very upstanding citizen type person, pension, 6 figures, whole 9 yard. And when we started seeing each other, I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. I like to do push-ups, and like I got a motorcycle, and like I'm going to start a supplement brand. And she was like, I mean, I don't shoot. I mean, she's probably better to speak, but she's probably like, this guy's good looking, he's funny. Like, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think she really thought too much into it in the beginning. She has told me though, where she's like, if it was anybody else, I would have been like, no, I'm good, never mind.
Yeah.
But she was like, I could tell that there was something different about you.
That's awesome.
And that if anybody was going to do it, it's the guy that like is so bullheaded, he's not going to stop until it's finished. And so I went all in, I quit everything, opened up that retail store. And that's the thing, like if you're going to go all in, especially in my industry, you have to develop so much personality around it. I was doing it all day, every day. From the moment I woke up, from the moment I go to bed, I'd have dreams about my company. Like I'd have dreams about branding when I'm I do meditations in the shower every day. Some people it's like self-loathing kind of like, do I really want to fucking do this again? Like, oh my God. Like, but for like 20 minutes every day, I sit in the shower and I like it's the only time where I don't have this box of nonsense with me. And I'm just like, I think up my ideas and then I get out of the shower and I write them all down.
Awesome.
And like, I just did that over and 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 over until it finally, I would say a couple years ago, really like the wheels were spinning. They finally touched ground and started to go. So yeah,
it's crazy when the trajectory of your like thought process and vision comes to fruition, and then you're like, oh, okay. I guess I gotta go back to the shower now.
Yeah, bro, seriously.
For real.
Like, and I've done that many times where I'm like, bro, I need to dip off and focus because we are like, we went to the Arnold 2 weeks ago, and like, I wanted my wife to come with me. Nobody else brought their wives. It's a bro fest.
Yeah.
The fucking Arnold's just a bro fest of industry dudes. Like, you know what I mean?
Just
Kids are
bigger.
I can just imagine.
It's just dudes like, it's pre-workout, like, and just big and dumb, and like, it's hilarious. And I love it, dude. That's like my bread and butter.
Thriving.
Big meathead dumbasses. And we're at the Arnold, man, and like, I mean, we had meetings with guys who own 9-figure companies, and like, we're talking to elite people in the industry. Like, I'm sitting there at the Hyatt bar hanging out with dudes who have, like, they were literally like, yeah, I just was with Arnold Schwarzenegger like 15 minutes ago. And I'm like, fuck, I missed him. And they're like, yeah. And like, I have guys' numbers in my phones that like people pay to meet for a picture. $100 just to be like, and I have like, and I text them back and forth. And I'm like, huh?
Do you know Andy Frisella?
Not personally, but I have friends who are very close to him. Like, I have a couple guys' numbers in my phones that like could, if I needed to talk to him, I could.
Yeah.
Like,
awesome.
it wouldn't be difficult.
Do you know who Andy is?
Not really.
He's doing his first form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he is no bullshit.
Yeah, that guy, he has gone, he's made so much money because they own, what people don't know about him, he also owns a ton of stores.
Okay.
Supplement superstores all throughout the Midwest. And like, I mean, First Form is so big. He's made so much money. He's in that position of fuck you.
Yeah.
Where he has his podcast now, and he's just like, I don't fucking care. Let's do this. Let's go, America. You know what I mean? Like, I respect the hell out of him for what he's done. And I brought her, and I was just like, this is like, we went back to the hotel, and like, you realize, like, because she's like kind of oblivious to some of it now. She was very integral in the beginning. She came to every event with me. I mean, there's a funny story. I did every event that anybody would sign me up for. Like, if you were allowed me to have a table, doesn't matter if there was 10 people there. I'll come set up a table and I'll talk to 10, because if I get 3 customers out of it, that's 3 customers I never had before. So I was a savage and guerrilla. I call it guerrilla marketing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll do whatever it takes. I don't care. I don't have any other thing planned in my life.
This is what I'm doing.
This is what I'm doing. And we went to, somebody hit me up and was like, yo, there's a like a wrestling, like, not like fucking collegiate wrestling, like fucking WWE shit out in Lancaster. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll go to that. There's probably a bunch of people on like steroids, and they'll like want to like work out and stuff. No, it was like underground wrestling at like a VFW. And it was like,
I bet that was the wildest,
the worst thing I've ever, we walked out within like an hour. And because it was like people of Walmart type shit. Like, we had a container with like water that we would like,
backyard brawl
in the automotive section of Walmart.
Yeah, dude.
People hitting each other over the back with lights, fluorescent lights.
Yeah, with fluorescent lights. Like, we had a container with ice water in it so we can mix up samples, and people were like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "You've never seen fucking water before? It's water, you psycho!" And they're all like drinking Dr. Peppers. You know what I mean? Big, like,
Just Mountain Dews and Marlboro overhead.
Like, I was like, "What's that?" I'm like, "It's protein." He's like, "There's steroids in that," and I'm like, "No." And this dude, like, real fat. You know what I mean? And I was just like. And Shannon's looking at me. She's like, "We have to fucking. You're like, we're not gonna make any money.
This isn't the
We can't
place.
sell a single thing.
Yeah.
These people want hot dogs and chicken wings. Like, they are not about it."
Well, then go back to your supplier and get hot dog and chicken wing flavored
right?
protein.
Yeah.
Start bringing that around.
They'll actually might buy it then. And so we've gotten to the point now where it's like I have an event. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but like I made a post on Facebook like a couple days ago because while I was at the Arnold sitting with some of these guys, I was talking about like, dude, I really want to get this person. I got to figure out what I'm going to do for my next event because I like to do, you know what I mean, like big names that nobody ever has had before. And dude, this is like the top of the industry, the coolest fucking dude ever. And like he texted me the other day. Like I have his personal number.
Is this who we were talking about before this?
I don't know.
Your video?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's in the works. Though. I am working on that. But like, I'm looking at my phone and I like show my wife. I'm like, "Is this fucking real?" And she's like, "Holy shit, that's really him." And I'm like, "That's really him."
That's awesome.
I have his fucking. But when I call and it buzzes in his pocket, he's in like the UK right now at the UK Arnold, and he's texting me at 3:00 in the morning because he forgets the time frame there. And I'm like, "This is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like I started selling pre-workout out of the trunk of a Subaru Impreza, and like now a couple years later, I have like
The biggest players in the game.
biggest players in the game texting me right now. It still doesn't seem real. I still feel like I don't really have like the imposter syndrome, like, because I've worked for what I have, like, so, but there's still like, it's still, sometimes it's like, this is real? Like, I'll go places and people know me as the House of Gains guy, and I'm like,
That's awesome.
bro, I don't even know who the fuck you. I don't know 90% of my customers anymore.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's awesome.
You know what he said on the way here?
What?
He saw your face on a billboard.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, right outside, right across the street from the Harley plant.
Oh,
Yeah, right by the Round the Clock Diner, I think.
Yeah. It's up there on the left-hand side, I think.
by the round clock.
Eric buys
I
York,
think so.
right? Eric will all buy it, York or something like that.
Yeah, it says
yeah.
I'll buy it. Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, you're up there, I think, on the
All buy York, yeah.
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 Yeah, no, that's a new little marketing thing. We're seeing how it works. So
I mean, it might do very well as interest rates peak and layoffs start happening. So I'm
fair.
a big fan of the real estate market. I like watching it.
Sure.
I have, you know what I mean, a little bit invested into it. And it's going to be an interesting 2025 is going to be wild for guys like you.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, 2023 was a little painful in the real estate world, honestly, for pretty much everybody. But 2024 is picking back up, and I agree. 2025, 26 could be
Interesting.
an interesting return.
If you come in with cash and you're not leveraged,
Yeah,
it's going to be spicy. Spicy.
that's the goal. I mean, and honestly, there's a lot of what we do that in those types of situations could be extremely valuable to the people that we work with too. 'Cause what the real estate market did for 2 years was just unprecedented.
Unprecedented.
It was
never
crazy.
happen. I can't imagine it'll ever happen again.
It was so nutty.
Yeah, that
It was like 25 offers and 40 grand over list with no appraisal contingency. It was just what was going on there for a while was just absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
People were lit. I don't know. I
don't even know what they're like. They're just
during that time was when we sold our first house and we're buying our second one. And I remember we went in on an offer and I think we even went 40 grand over. And we had an appraisal contingency because I'm not going to overpay for something that's not worth it.
Right.
And there was people they were like, nah, we got something that was like 75 grand over, no appraisal contingency. And I'm like, so these guys are literally willingly just like, they must have fuck you money. I don't know. Like, yeah.
don't.
And I'm
That's
like,
the thing is like, credit card debt is at an all-time high.
it was just like, hey, I want to move, and this is the only way.
that's
I have
the
to move.
only way. Yeah. And it was insane. Like, I couldn't even like
More
when
conventional loans than I've never seen ever in my life. Like it was, cash was coming from somewhere. If it was from parents, from sales of their properties, from grandparents, but like the amount of non-government backed loans that were going on for 18 months was just bizarre.
yeah.
people had to, because if you come in with an
Couldn't come
FHA,
with an FHA or anything.
I mean, you were irrelevant. Yeah.
No,
I don't even think they were getting, honestly, I don't even think, like, even when I was selling my house, I remember my realtor was like, hey, we got this. A couple of them are FHA. What do you want to look at? And I was like, not those.
yeah, just write
I
them
don't-
off.
yeah.
I'm not dealing with any
All
of the
the headaches
headaches
that
that
go
go
It was
Yeah.
crazy. So it's going to be, I was actually talking to somebody yesterday about that. And now, especially with this new NAR nonsense
That's a
thing
spicy
going on,
one, too.
it's
I
going to
don't
get
even know though
interesting.
if it's really going to play like people think it's going to play. Like honestly, I feel like logic takes over in a lot of those situations. And yeah, you could have your listing agent and decide you're not going to pay a buyer's agent, but it's just going to be played into the buyer's contract with their or they're going to be like, pay me or my client's not buying your house.
Right.
Like I mean, until people start getting reported for steering and doing all types of stuff that's against real estate regulations, which they're not going to know. They're not going to be, because they're going to have a conversation. Yeah.
Phone calls.
I mean, I think it was an interesting decision in the real estate world. Do I think the validity of it will carry on to like really cause a ruckus like everybody's promoting on social? Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, because honestly, the fact of the matter is 3% of the agents do 80% of the business.
Yep.
And
80% of houses in New York were sold by like 10% of the
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very if you're good at being a real estate agent,
You're going to be fine.
you're going to be just fine.
Okay.
If you just
Especially when the market turns.
yeah,
Because right now you got a lot of people who, and I'm not dogging on them. I would do it too if I could walk in, make $10,000 on a $300,000 house, $4,000 house. You know what I mean? With 19
Real
competing
quick.
offers, you literally don't have to do much. You just
Yeah.
put it on Zillow and there it all comes.
as a listing agent, you have definitely a less busy. I mean, I don't really. I feel like you still have to do a lot of negotiations and deal with a lot of like documentation, but
Also,
the work side of it, like driving somebody around, going see that's
You're not going to have to.
you just go see one house
Yeah.
at a house that you're going to list, and you put it out there, and then you let the MLS and Zillow and Realtor do their thing, and you operate within the needs of what other agents want and try to negotiate with your client.
I think it'll bring negotiations a lot more. Like you're going to see more negotiation because you're going to be like, all right, this is the price. This is what the listing agent wants as his commission. This is what the buyer's agents wants.
Right.
All right, let's chop this. Let's do this. If you want to make this deal today, because I'm a negotiator. So like,
Yeah.
And when I
Yeah,
buy
and-
pallets of product all the time, I'll be like, bro, I'll do it for this, some money or no money. And then like you got other guys now it's going to bring a different, I think I've never been an agent, no interest in it either. But I think it'll bring a lot more to the table as far as or agents are going to have to bring negotiation skills to the table, not just marketing.
Right.
I think they're going to have to up their game.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. And I honestly think that there's part of that and the greed side of it that's going to have to like settle down a little bit. Like they're going to start negotiating their dollars instead of the seller's dollars or the buyer's dollars. And, a $500,000 house at 6%, I mean, that's $6,000 for every 100,000 is how that all breaks down. I mean, that's $30,000 at 6%.
Sure.
Plus you got, transfer taxes and different things, cost to do any updates that you get with inspections, appraisals. I mean, I think the national average, it might have came down a little bit over that, but it was about not 9-10%.
On
total
cost. Yeah.
So to
No, I
total
think
cost.
it's still
So,
around there.
I mean, I assume that through COVID and some of the stuff and people overpaying, then no inspections and all that probably brought it down a little bit. But, 10% of a $500,000 house is $50,000.
Man, bro, that's a lot
And
of cash.
$30,000 of that is going to agents. So just they're doing the same work. My personal opinion is you usually end up doing less work for the higher the demographic that you work with is, just because they're more accustomed to getting things done and it's not as chaotic.
Yeah. They're not going to argue over $3,000.
Yeah.
They're
So
gonna
like,
argue over 30, but they won't argue over.
and that doesn't change
One may
how
probably
it.
have
I'm just
all
saying, $150,000 house, or an $89,000 house, like getting documentations and stuff. Documents becomes difficult sometimes.
Because those people don't have accountants.
Yeah, they
Or
might.
money.
Yeah, or money. yeah.
But I mean, yes. But there's also with that habits and things that occur in those people's lives. I would say that put them in those positions.
They're buying an $89,000 house for a reason.
Yes, exactly. And every house
that
that I've
that's
ever
wrong,
bought or
but-
sold has been the hardest deals I've ever done.
Yeah.
And if you, as an agent, like some of the higher end, you don't have to work. Like they just do the things you need them to do.
Yeah.
Like they get pre-qualified, they get all their docs in, they like all the stuff. It's less work when it was on a $500,000 house most of the time. But what do you get with that? You make quadruple the amount of money that you made for. So I think that there's going to be a pushback in that.
Yeah.
Like that's where I think people like.
On those
Can you
median
walk
to
away
high
from
level
that?
houses.
Yeah, can you walk away from that?
Do you want to make
Where-
$15,000 or 20? Because
Right.
$15,000 makes the deal done today. $20,000 makes the deal go away.
Right.
I have always, one of my biggest negotiation tactics when I work with because I don't do a lot of real estate or anything like that. But like when I'm dealing with vendors and stuff, I'll be like, listen, I can do it at this price. I'll buy this much. Deal or no deal. Do you want to make some money or no money? That's always my thing. Do you want to make some money or no money? Some money, you might not get the margin you want right now, but it's cash and it's right now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no money and you don't make shit.
Yeah. You gotta wait for the next person to hopefully pay them the number that you want.
Yep. And they'll sit back and they'll be like, fuck, I got this product. He's gonna buy it. Do you want to make $2,000 or fucking no grand? You want to make $2,000, bro.
Yeah.
All day long. I think it'll bring hustle culture back to real estate. I think it'll bring more negotiations, and it'll be good for everybody to learn new things about buyers and sellers are going to have to learn how to negotiate more than they ever have, because right now it was just put it out on the market and see how much people want to pay for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I don't know. My biggest thing is like with people who were originally supposed to be living, because you hear people talk about all the time, like the cost of living is really high and the American dream is really hard. And I'm like, no, you just need to lower your expectations, because if you're on a champagne, if you want a champagne diet, but you're on a Miller Lite budget,
right?
Like you got to live in a smaller house, dude. Like my wife and I, we've been living in a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom for 7 years. Fucking tiny 1,000 square foot house. I've been living in that. We just moved.
It's you, her, and what?
3 dogs. And we had the baby a year ago, and we finally decided to upgrade because we want to have more kids. We could live perfectly fine in that 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom. Like, I mean, it was $145,000 when we bought it. So like, It's a tiny fucking home, and like, it was everything that we needed, nothing else. We're working professionals, and I was like, we don't need much. And like, it was a safe, well structured home. But like, I tell people all the time, like, a lot of people, they're 23, 24, 25, even 30 years old, want to buy a $400,000 or $500,000 house, and I'm like, and I go to like Dave Ramsey with shit like that. And I'm like, listen,
that's
lower
a whole nother podcast.
My thing with him, because he's got his whole belief structure, and because you guys are investment people, obviously his ideology does not mesh. Leveraging for you is everything. For him, it's horrible.
Yeah.
For the average person, though, somebody who doesn't know how to leverage money to make money work, they're leveraging their life to make you know what I mean? They have an asset that doesn't perform. Your home doesn't perform. It locks in money away for you to never be able to access unless you get a HELOC. And why would you get a HELOC unless you know how to access and make money work for you? So they're not looking at stuff like that. So I'm like, I look at people and I'm like, why are you trying to live in a house that you can't afford?
For sure.
And literally, I have friends who are legitimately house poor, paycheck to paycheck, making 6 figures, living in a house they can't afford. And I think what will happen in 2025, 2026 is, as the layoffs start to pepper in certain industries, and a lot of people who got massive wage increases, one of the big things that's going to happen is they're going to get laid off if they're not performing. Because if I pay you 20% more than I did last year, I want 20% more work, motherfucker. Like, I want you to perform. You know what I mean? For that pay increase. Not like there's no like being a dick or like, oh, you're an evil capitalist or anything like that. Like, bro, if I pay you to do something, bro, I'm paying you to do something. Right. And a lot of people who kind of glided through that, that desperation that guys like me had for like new employees and stuff. There's people who are going to start getting laid off. I mean, you saw it with UPS, you see it with Salesforce, you see it with, you know what I mean? Big tech companies, even Meta laid off a ton of people. So you've got
good employees are hard to find. Good
employees are hard to find, and the bad ones are replaceable. Yeah. And if you're not a great employee coming into a market where, you know what I mean, companies it's harder to expand because interest rates are higher. You're going to look at the chaff or the weak, and you're going to be like, we got to get rid of these people. We can give these people more money and put 30% more workload on them and cut all this out. They're gone. Now what happens to those people? They just bought a $350,000 house at a 7% interest rate. They're done. They're fried. They're going to go belly up.
C players are bad for your business.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, like, you got B and C players around, you're never going to have A players.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Need an A squad.
Because if you allow it, they bring A players down. Mm-hmm. A players don't bring them up.
Nope.
It's just
an unteachable thing.
Yeah.
It's ingrained in somebody's personality.
And you know, it's, if you have 3-4 shit employees and you have 2 good employees, I can promise you, you let those 3 hang out, your good ones will not be as good as they used to be.
Mm-hmm. Unless you
separate. It is life, you know what I mean? Like, But that's almost anything you do. You know what I mean? Like, you go hang out with 4 people that, like, just party 5 nights a week and that's all their life is. Like, I was there. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what you're going to do. You know what I mean? Like, if 7 nights a week, whatever it is, you could be trying to do something different. Or you could even be that person. That's why I don't go home. Like, I swear to God, like, I don't go back to Harrisburg, like, where I grew up. Not because, like, I don't have friendships and stuff there, but I know it's easy for me to go fall back into the friendships that I had before and do some of the wild, crazy shit that I did then.
I'll be a street rat in 15 minutes. back in the environment, we're all fucking clicked up. What up, dude? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. It takes seconds, you know what I mean? So, like, and you always go backwards. Like, you don't just show up there and be like, guys, let's go all buy houses. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you guys want to talk about your 401k?
Yeah. That's not how you'll take it, right? That's not how it goes down at all.
We're doing coke tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Playing dice on the corner.
Yeah.
But
that's their savings. Ran out. They got to run back out.
Shoebox. Got a shoebox.
Yep.
And a wood forest.
Shit, spent it all last night at the club. I got to get back out on the corner and play a little dice.
Hey, I was always rich. It was just all in my pocket.
Rubber band man.
Yeah. But it was gone in the morning. You start next day. Yep. Anyway, so House of Gain Supplement Company.
Yep.
Yeah. We totally off track there for a while. But no, that's what this is all about, man. That's why we're just chilling out here. And before I go into that, what is that?
This is an energy drink. This is from Rise.
Is that like a local what's that?
No, these guys are based out of, I forget. I think Nick is from Buffalo originally.
Is that like your jam?
I have I sell tons of energy drinks. So we buy pallets of it, dude. Rise, Just Work, Ghost. I just brought in the Ric Flair energy drink, the Woo energy.
Yes.
And dude, I fucking love it. And we do like mix and match case deals for $25, which is literally what I pay for them. Like, it's just enough to cover like my processing fees.
Yeah.
So we sell tons of energy drinks. So I have a vending machine at one of the gyms in West York. So I always have like cases of energy drinks and like protein bars.
Did you bring any?
Yeah, I got some in my car. I'll give you guys.
Nice. Well, because I was going to ask you about it, because like I drink.
I've been like looking at it, and I'm like,
and it looks delicious.
It tastes like a pink Starburst.
Yeah.
It's not branded though. They do a lot of like branded collabs. I'm like doing a commercial. Shout out Nick. They do like, Ghost does like Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
See, I can't do the sweet ones. Like,
no, I don't like them.
I'm a White Monster.
So that's what I was going to say. Like,
sugar.
I drink White Monsters like it's...
They're the best flavor. That's the goat of energy drinks.
Yeah.
It really is. I don't sell them, but like, because they're everywhere else.
Yeah.
But it makes sense.
Because we have like exclusivities on certain stuff. So like people can only get certain things. Like, I'm the only guy in 200 miles that sells fucking Ric Flair's energy drinks.
Right.
If you want it, you got to come to me. So I just keep stuff in my car and like, I'll like open up the hatch and be like, hey, what do I want today? And I'll be like, nah, like I had Celsius Ghost, and then I didn't. And then
does anybody make one close to like the? I feel like somebody had to steal that flavor, right?
What
from
White
Monster?
Yeah, several of them.
3D Christian Guzman's.
Yeah,
their silver can, I think it is, or it's whatever it was, or white can. Yeah,
no
super
sugar.
similar.
Yeah, almost all of them are no sugar now. The only way you're getting an energy drink with sugar in it is if you're getting like a Venom or a Rip It from the dollar store.
Yeah.
Everybody else, like, because it's
Red Bull has it, right?
Yeah, like they
have non-sugar, no sugar now.
Yeah, and they were the originals.
Yeah,
all their originals had sugar in it, and then everybody went no sugar. It's also way cheaper to not use sugar because sucralose is 600 times sweeter than sugar. So like if you use 10 grams of sugar, you only need like 6 milligrams or whatever, 60 milligrams of sucralose. Yeah. So pound for pound, it's 1,000 times cheaper.
When you're making that quantity.
And it's easier to manufacture too because sugar gets like syrupy and sticky, and sucralose does a little bit, but not nearly to the extent. And it's overall it's cheaper, and customers like it. Like, I'm not going to sit there and drink. If I would might as well drink apple juice. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Like, no, I'm going to hit 50 grams of carbs, like or something like that. So yeah, almost all of them are no sugar now, and they might have like a half a gram or something.
At least I'm drinking the goat of.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I feel good.
I've always wondered because there's so many different ones. I'm like, am I drinking? Is this okay? I don't know if it's okay with me.
I don't care.
I drink a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, they're not good for you.
Yeah. Well,
like,
it is nowadays.
Same thing. This thing.
What about that Celsius thing?
I love Celsius. I like them
like
because
that
they're
peach
light
vibe
flavor.
joint.
Yeah, I got one in my car. I'll give it to you. The Celsius. I like. My thing with the branded energy drink flavors is like Ghost has a Swedish fish. You drink it, it literally tastes like a liquid Swedish fish. I'm not drinking that, dude. Like I had it
My
a couple
kid
times.
would love that.
Yeah,
I've
kids
had
can't
that.
drink it. Your
They
kid's already
should
probably
drink it, yeah.
psycho already. Like,
Agreed.
so like I just don't want to sit down and eat like a meal prep or like a burger and be like Swedish fish.
Yeah.
Like it's just not my vibe.
Yeah.
I drink whatever. I like the Celsius because they're lighter in flavor.
Yeah.
And like they're not as overpowering. They're normal flavors a lot of the times. Like I can occasionally drink like that's like a pink Starburst flavor. I'm not going to drink that all the time.
Right.
But like,
Do they all have very similar the same things in them? Like,
yeah, I mean,
because like Celsius claim to fame, when you look at it, it's like, boost metabolism, fat burner, and energy drink. That's like the last thing. The other ones are like, nah, we're just gonna make you
caffeine
caffeined out.
Yeah.
Bang, the 300 milligrams
Yeah.
is just my employees call it Coke water.
Yeah.
Like it's just Coke water.
Yeah.
The cool trend that I'm seeing in the industry now, though, is that lower caffeine is becoming popular because I had a guy, this was back when I first opened the store, Bang was huge. Now it's gone. They went bankrupt. But they had a green
real
apple.
quick.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a big mistake on Jack O'Lock's part, which is a whole nother thing. But I had a guy coming in. They had a green apple Bang. Bang is 300 milligrams of caffeine per can. That's 200. So it's 30% more caffeine. This dude was buying 2 cases of green apple a week. And I was like, bro, that's a lot of caffeine. What are you using this for? And he was like, oh, I mix Crown Royal with it. And I drink fucking Crown and green apple to make like a green apple whiskey. Like, and I'm
And
like,
he died 6 days later.
bro, sometimes I have guys
Shit
coming
beating
in.
out through his heart.
Yeah,
Good
dude.
Lord.
And like, sometimes I have people come in and they'll tell me that shit, and I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, I don't want your money anymore. Please go to your doctor. Go for a walk outside. Like, go barefoot in the grass or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse there, though. The fact that he was drinking that much, that he was buying 2 cases a week.
And then mixing alcohol with it, bro. That much, like, because you think
I don't know what's worse, the fact he's drinking that much alcohol or the fact that he's drinking that much caffeine, but he's doing it both at the same time.
Yeah, because you.
I
figure
mean,
you're
it's
gonna
like
have
speedballing.
yeah.
All day.
That's like
Upper and a
he's
downer
basically
all
just
day.
slamming 4 Locos.
The originals.
Yeah.
The originals. Wow.
Which was
those
wild.
Yeah.
were insane.
Senior week was nuts.
Yes. So I fear for guys like that. And I've had customers come in back when energy drinks were basically double the caffeine, they were coming in and being like, yeah, I can't buy energy drinks anymore because I had a fucking heart attack. And I'm like, you're 36 years old. Dude.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Like, and it was most common in York with my York location, because there's a lot of warehouse people. So they were drinking them all
day,
night
12-hour
long.
shifts just
12-hour
to rack
shifts,
out all night.
Third shift forklift drivers at ES3. I like
believe
to
that.
slam 2 or 3 of them a shift, and I'm like, bro, you're at a gram of caffeine a day, plus pre-workout, plus coffee in the morning. I'm like,
Yeah, graveyard shift's no joke, man.
yeah, I did it at Stauffer Cookie Factory when I was younger.
It's brutal. I milk cows from like 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. now. It's
Yeah.
miserable.
It's like, yeah, dude, just
I don't want to talk about it.
milking cows.
These guys are out here hawking things in a warehouse, and you're like,
Yeah.
It wasn't anything like that. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Those,
Yeah, they have like a whole machine.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
got
you're not like
iodine
Little
there
House
with
on
a
the
bucket.
Prairie.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you got these iodine things. You like, dude,
You gotta wipe 'em down.
144 cows with an electric fence behind them, and there was 6, 3 on each side of the chute. Worst job I ever had. I had it for 3 weeks and never got paid.
Oh my God.
I quit because I never got paid. But seriously, the worst job I've ever had in my life. And it was cold, so freaking cold, that this is when I knew I was done, they would shit.
And freeze.
And it would freeze.
oh no.
And then the next cow coming down the chute slipped on the shit, frozen shit. And I was looking at Josh Demko, who was milking with, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, there's a cow. I just learned this job. It was terrible. But yeah, they had machines that did the actual milking for you. Like, you just
had
plug
to
them up. You had
connect
to
it.
put iodine on their nipples.
clean
there,
those
and then,
Yeah. Like
yeah, it
that
was
one
wild.
guy you know. Yeah. Long,
very similar. They probably looked very similar. All right. Well, anyway,
It's all
House of
real
Gains.
estate.
So we got it's a supplement company, but where are you located at? Like somebody wanted to find you. He said brick and mortar.
Yep.
Are a lot of people ordering online, or they come to your store? Are they at gyms? Where can people find and obviously your Instagram, because you got a whole thing going out there. Yeah.
So my Instagram is Lord of the Gains. And we have obviously each store, we have one in Lancaster, that's House of Gains _Lancaster. In York, House of Gains _York. We have our brand, the House of Gains brand. I also started Chase the Pump last year. That's starting to move now as well.
Chase the Pump.
Yeah. So we started a brand called Chase the Pump. I wanted to, one of the things, because I have I do a lot of wholesaling too. So I have stores all over the country that buy my products and sell them in their store. As a way for me to just expand my territory. And we do houseofgains.com is our omni-channel e-commerce site.
Sure.
So that I figured if I'm going to have a store. I had the website before I had the stores, and then it was originally just my brand. And then when I opened the stores, I was like, well, I'm already selling other people's products here. I might as well sell it online, because customers leave and be like, they'd move to a different area and message me and be like, hey, can I buy this? And I'm sending them a link to pay, and then they're giving their shipping information. I was like, let's just sync the whole fucking store. I got new systems, new software to integrate everything to be omni-channel. So we sell products all over the country to different stores. And because the name of the brand is the name of my retail stores, I got pushback from some other companies where they were like, hey, no offense, I don't want to promote your store brand. It'd be like Body Tech from Vitamin Shop.
Sure.
So I was like, all right, cool. So I made a premium brand called Chase the Pump. And then we started selling that wholesale, I think last summer.
Awesome.
And starting to now.
I thought that was going to be an app for finding the cheapest gas.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah.
I'm just
not a bad idea.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I have a couple of apps in mind, but
it's not chasing gas pumps.
No, no. It's all industry stuff. I try and stay. I learned a couple of years ago to stay where I'm at, stay in my lane, stay in my wheelhouse. That's why some guys, they divest too much. And I'm like, bro, you're losing. Why are you spread out? You're not Warren Buffett.
We know somebody that's got 47 hustles.
Yeah.
And you're never good at any of them.
Yeah.
No, and you just keep bouncing around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So even
never ending hustle.
Market's up right now, I'm looking at liquidating my whole portfolio and dumping it into my company. Because I'm like, why the fuck am I investing in Coca-Cola when I could just invest in House of Gains? Every time I put $1 in, I get way more back than when I put $1 into the stock market.
Right.
And stock market, I also have no control over.
I was just going to,
None. That's why most real estate guys don't have stocks. Because they're like, fuck, why would I want to give you money when I can't leverage my stock portfolio? You can if you know how to do it.
Once you play the game long enough, you can definitely leverage it. But
you got to have enough in there too.
Yeah,
if you've got 3, 4,
to
5
liquidate it
plus.
and not affect really where your stance is on the stock market. You got to be heavily invested in it.
Yeah. So it's and then you got guys CEOs of companies that they don't take salaries. They leverage their stock portfolio and they get loans and they pay the interest off and blah, blah, blah. That's how they don't make money. And that's but that's a game that most people will never be at a position to ever play.
For sure.
So I'm looking at it as I'm not really there, and I don't really want to keep pumping money into a market that I think is inflated anyway. So I'm like, I'm probably going to liquidate everything and keep pushing into
take the 20.
What's already working for me.
For sure.
Well, it's even the same thing with us. I mean, we have 401k, and I think I stopped contributed to our 401k a year and a half ago because I'm like, I can put that. I know what I'm doing with that money. So
I don't trust those fuckers on Wall Street anyway. They haven't done well. Historically,
sure.
They're not. They're not fiduciary at all.
No, it is a never-ending loop of
boom and bust.
Yes,
yep,
100%.
And you have no control over it. So I want to have more control over it.
Yeah. Understandable. So talked a little bit about real estate. I mean, maybe you got something, but I know I'm sounded like you're similar like me. He can keep his Lambos and.
Yeah.
But you have anything that you do enjoy spending some money on? If you were to, I'm one that the reason I got into the food, I'll always spend money on food and drinks. I love that shit. But anything that you enjoy.
So, I when I started really focusing, because at 22 years old, I had a total life change, got sober, was like, all right, I'm just gonna focus on my life. And I went full minimalist. I'm still these pants were probably $20. These shoes are probably the most expensive thing I have on. They were $60. T-shirts obviously free.
Yeah.
Even my wedding band's probably like $30. My wife's is exceptionally more expensive than mine.
60.
Yeah,
Out
like
of the gumball machine.
I bought. This is the first. I bought a new G-Shock after 11 years. I purposely wore it for over a decade, and the light didn't work. I couldn't even read it anymore because like I was like, I'm not going to buy anything for myself until like I'm in a position where I feel like I can.
Right.
I'm a big watch guy. I love watches. Like I have a couple, nothing crazy. There's a few things that like I'll tell people out there. If you see me driving a late 90s late 80s, early 90s square body Bronco, murdered out to the gills, and wearing a fucking new Rolex, you know I've hit my number.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're ready to rock.
Until then, like I'm still rocking a 2011 Ford Edge. Like I only bought that because I needed a loan to help build credit.
Yeah.
And that was years back, and I'll drive that fucking thing till the wheels fall off, or I need to upgrade for safety, obviously, for like my kid and my family. I like spending money on the company, to be honest with you, because like with a lot of people, what they do is not like necessarily their main interest. And what I do is literally my main interest. So like when I make new T-shirts, like we make like funny T-shirts and stuff. Me, that's like what I like spending money on. Like we're gonna like this event. I'm paying this guy cash to come out here. It's thousands of dollars.
Right.
But for me, I'm like, I want to do that. You know what I mean? That's my Lambo. Bringing this celebrity out is my Lambo. I mean, like I have a Harley. I have a nice fucking O2 dyno that was custom built by a friend of mine. And he did a phenomenal job with it. I love motorcycles. I love watches, and I love old square body trucks and Broncos. But like I only have the Harley right now because it was a position where I could afford it. Yeah. I'll jump in. Like I've been pretty
something.
Yeah, like
that's smart, man. Like I respect that. Like, and you'll be happier for it for sure. Like there's definitely something to be said about the humility that goes along with building on the backside and not having to let everybody see it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then back at the end when you're with that Rolex, and then you can let people see it. You know what I mean?
Every business should be built to sell. And if I ever get to the point where I'm done, I can cash out. I told my wife, and I was like, when we're ready, we'll be done. And like, we'll go do something else, and we can live a much more comfortable life and spend money. And we're foodies too. My wife is very similar to me. She doesn't like spending money on stuff that really doesn't appreciate in value, or is like whatever. We buy nice things. Like we don't cheap out on stuff. Like I won't even go into Walmart unless somebody's paying me to be there. At this point,
hey, I don't hate Walmart.
I hate it, dude. Really? I get like rage. Like I have like my wife goes without me because she knows that I cannot contain myself. I've been in there once in the last 3 years, and I was in and out in 20 minutes. I was like, we go in, we get what we need.
We get what we need, and we're out.
Because it's like, I mean, it is a
wild
pants and the kids and like people yelling and standing in the fucking aisles. Like, I just can't do it. And I'm like, why are you here? Don't you have a fucking job? Like, what is going on here? I'm trying to get milk for the store. I need you to fuck off. Like, and like, I just go out.
I can feel it building in you.
Dude,
just through that like visualization.
But I can see everything you're talking about too, which is crazy.
It's like it is people being psychos, crapping on. I remember I was at the West York Walmart. This was my ex-girlfriend, probably, I don't know, 10 years ago. We went to the West York Walmart, and I needed shampoo and razor blades. We go over, and I see this like these two ladies, and they had a Chihuahua in Walmart. It's like 11 o'clock at night because we were both in the food industry. So we go do our shopping at 24-hour Walmart after hours. It's the only thing that was open. And I see these two ladies with this Chihuahua. And I was like, weird, whatever, not my issue. So we're walking around the aisle over there with all the shampoo and stuff. I'm like, it's like shit in here. I was like, why does it smell like shit? And then I walk around, and there's a fucking turd on the floor. And I'm like, you're just your dog shit on, and I was like, it's obviously a dog shit, like it's Chihuahua turds. It's like, and I'm like, and then they just left, and I'm like, what the fuck? And like, I go and get an associate, and it's a third shift associate, bro. These people are not happy with their fucking job, bro. Yeah, like they're doing this because they have to.
I just killed a dog. I'm not cleaning that.
I go over and I was like, hey man, I hate to tell you this, but you should probably get maintenance because there's dog shit in aisle 16, and it's gross. And like the guy just goes, oh,
and that's when he quit and started his own business.
That was his that's his origin story. Yeah. Some fucking meatbag was like, yo, there's a dog turd over there. You're gonna have to get it. I mean, dude, I've been in like discount grocery stores. Like I still shop at Aldi's. You know what I mean? Like I do. We're doing well for ourselves right now. But like I still shop
like
at
Lidl,
Aldi's.
man.
I love Lidl, dude.
How do you say it? Lidl, Lidl?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There it is.
Slaps, dude.
Lidl.
Mm-hmm. I think it's Lidl.
I don't.
Tomato,
You're probably
tomato.
right.
Yeah.
I just call it Lidl.
Yeah, and it's the same
I'm
thing.
American.
It's like, yeah. It's
No.
Lidl. I don't know if it's Wise or Weiss.
Wise.
Wise?
Yeah, it's Wise.
Yeah.
My buddy was like, it's spelled Weiss, though.
It is spelled
is
Weiss,
spelled
but it's pronounced Wise.
Yeah.
That's all right.
They both
Central
sell food,
Pennsylvania problem.
But
Yeah.
Lidl, they got some killer deals. And their bakery's fire, by the way.
Yeah, dude. their
People don't
bread's
know
good.
about it. Their bread is fire.
I've never been there. There's one right down the road from my house.
Yeah.
But there's also a grocery outlet right down there. That place is pretty sick.
Lidl's, I think, better than. Well, it depends on what
The
you're
issue with
looking for.
grocery outlet is a lot of times they'll have like almost past 8 food.
Yeah.
So like you have to watch it. And they have the weirdest shit. They'll get like the stuff that stores are like just dumping off.
Yeah.
Lidl also has
You get like
the
blueberry
weirdest-
flavored potato chips.
Yeah.
Dude.
I love potato chips.
Who wanted that?
Yeah.
Me.
The idea
Yeah,
was it
That's
that they
me.
wanted
I'm that guy.
blueberry potato. But Lidl also has like this weird section in it that like
You got
You wa-
ethnic food, like German food. It's a German
no,
food.
but like all the stuff they have.
Oh, yeah.
Like I just
random
went in,
shit.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
went in there the other day and it
This
was
whole
like,
fucking
oh, I
setup
guess I'm gonna
is
buy.
buy at Lidl.
I can just buy a shed here.
Yep.
It was like a
My-
throw together shed. And I
My
was like,
wife
oh.
literally came home the other day. She was down at, it was Aldi or whatever, because they're all kind of the same thing. And she's like, oh, look at these clothes that I got from the grocery store. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where are the potatoes at?
Yeah.
Like, what? But she did. She got like 3 shirts and like other things. And I was like, we don't even need these.
You want to
other
put
stores
together
now.
a quality Easter basket for a young child? Just go
Just
to
go to-
Lidl.
yeah.
bro.
You got it all.
So fire. All right, man. Well, we got one more question for you, just before we run out of time here. But aspirations, where you want to go with your business, and like some life lessons that you've learned to put yourself in a position to get into that, to get to the goals that you've set ahead.
Where we can see you in the Rolex and the square body.
Rolex wearing, jet flying, wheeling, dealing, stealing, son of a gun. So my aspirations from the company when I first started were, I don't even know if this is going to work. I don't even know if what I'm doing is what
Your wife did though.
She was confident in me, probably more. I was just I was like, point me in a direction and let me run. And now one of the things is a lot of people do a thing and they're not good at it, but they like it. Me, I do a thing that I love and I'm really fucking good at it.
Yeah.
So I was like, once I realized that a few years ago, I was like, okay, like I could do this. And then like a few years later, things started to click and I was like, holy shit, I'm really good at this. And then when I went to stuff like the Arnold and I go meet other guys in the industry, they're like, bro, you're good at this. This is you, like, fucking keep going. I've had guys like, I will do whatever it takes to help you win. Like motherfuckers that make millions of dollars, they were like, keep doing what you're doing. I will work with you. Whatever you want to do, let's go. So because of that, I look back over the last year, especially after my son was built, and I was like, I'm going to fucking run with this. Like, I'm not going to stop until I want my territory, obviously. Like, I'm in central Pennsylvania, so we're going to expand the stores. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to do it, soon, later, whatever. Depends on like the next 6 months, the economy sideways. So we're just sort of like, you know what I mean? I tell everybody, all my staff, right now we're not expanding. We're fixing the holes in the ship. We're developing better products, better marketing. And I really want to focus on, because I'm good at what I do, but the stuff that I put out needs to be better. And I want to make it so like people aren't just buying my stuff because it's convenient. People aren't just buying my stuff because they like me or my marketing or whatever. They're buying it because it's the best. So like my main focus right now is that. I did that York barbell video and it went viral. I think it's at like 400,000 views, something like that right now. And I realized like I love weightlifting. Like it's my favorite thing in the world. And I love the history of weightlifting. So like you got guys like Bob Hoffman, they built the foundation of American weightlifting. Like it's all over the world. And he's world renowned. There's fucking concert halls in York named after him. There's murals of him all over York. he's gone. You know what I mean? He's been gone for several years now. I want to be the millennial Bob Hoffman. I want people to think, when they think of Central Pennsylvania, Muscletown, USA, my name is the next one that comes up right after him. So, like, I want to be the millennial Bob Hoffman. I want people, when they think of fitness in the gym within 150 miles of here, they think of me. So, like, that's my real goal, and I'll do whatever I have to do it. We're going to obviously expand the stores, expand the brands, dump into marketing like I never have before, doing more stuff like this, which is a lot of fun.
Would you say you're at, like, the point right now, and I always say this, well, I don't always say this, but I always think this is very true when I talk to people. A lot of people spend a significant amount of time building a perfect plan without the ability of executing it. But I would rather have a mediocre plan, consistency, hard work, determination, and drive. When you can take a mediocre plan and add all those qualities to it, you can overcome the challenges and obstacles and things that go on throughout building that business. But you could have the best plan in the world,
but if you don't do shit,
if you're not capable of executing it because you don't have those qualities, then you got a great plan. And so I would always rather have the mediocre startup idea of this is what I want to do and be bullheaded and strong enough and work ethic and determined to get there than to have some extraordinary plan without the qualities to make it great. And what I'm hearing from you is that everybody sees the qualities. Like, you know, you go to these different things and people want to help you. Your wife at the time when you were getting right, she believed in it. Like, so, you know, us sitting here with you right now, like, I'm like, all right, this guy's going to be the millennial Bob Hoffman.
Fucking speaking into existence. Like, I want a statue of me on 83. You know what I mean? Like,
let's do it.
I've already, like, no joke, I already have the plans. Like, I have fucking, people like are like, sometimes are like, you're hard to get a hold of. And I'm like, I have business plans written out for 5 years from now. Yeah. I already know 5 years from now what we're going to do. I take my incomes, my profit margins, and my overhead, and I'm like, all right, if I do this in 2 years, I can do this. And I'm very like build level, because I like to, I focus, because on that trend line, there's always up peaks and valleys. So I'm like, all right, let's just stably bring it up, and then
no valleys.
I don't have investors. I have nobody to tell me what to do.
Level has a plateau.
Yep.
And you know, I talk to you guys about that all the time.
All the time.
And once you're there's sometimes where there's like I think the hardest one, in my personal opinion, and we've been talking about it, is like when you're really good. The plateau that you hit it really good.
To get to great.
Is great. Is the craziest, like that's everything at once. And sometimes by the time you've gotten to really good, you've gotten a little bit complacent that bullhead and like person that built it.
Yeah.
And it was like isn't the same person because he has
you're playing chess.
It's not as hard anymore. Yes. Yeah. But you still have to have that same work ethic and determination and mentality to go from really good to great. And I think that a lot of people struggle, and a lot of times they just get complacent there, and then they end up being good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, or disappear.
Yeah, good enough is not good enough.
Yes.
Like, and what I'm doing right now is good enough. I can survive for the next 15, 20 years, but like I'm not building a legacy. And like I want to build
no statue.
Yeah, dude.
No statue. I'm gonna start using that shit. I'm taking that from you.
I want to fuck.
Every time we're in a meeting, I'm gonna say build a fucking statue.
Put it outside.
That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's literally how we're gonna start doing our
company.
shit.
Build a statue. They're in Long Island.
That's awesome. Statues. I'll go out, dog. If you get to that, I'll sit out there and fucking chisel that bitch. I'll do it. I'll sit there.
Dude, it's. I just look at it as like I figured out what I'm good at, and like I was like I have a vision now. I have all the business plans written up, and now it's just execution. Man. And I made it so like everything could be done in stages. I have a couple of things in the works right now that I won't even talk about with anybody. Only my wife and like the people that are involved in it will know about until a year from now. And then it'll drop, and people will be like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" Like, and I had guys tell me that, like, that I grew up with. They're like, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing?" And I'm just like, "I don't know, dude. Like, I'm just going. Like, I figured out what works and just ran with it." And that's a lot of people. And they make a lot of big plans. Like, I mean, they'll be like, "I want to be this and I want to be that." And be like, "Well, what are you doing? Dude?
Yeah.
Like, waking up every day thinking about it? Like, are you waking up and everybody doing about it?
Yeah, mutual. We know a guy real quick. I know we're getting towards the end. We know a guy. We were talking before we got on here. He was doing something, and it was like coming 2022, coming 2023, coming 2024. Now it's coming 2025. It's like, at what point?
Shit or get off the pot.
Like what point are you going to actually do it? Like, it's sick to talk about, but like for what he's doing, you've done it. It doesn't take that long to do it.
It's not that hard. I'm not. I know that I am a smarter guy, but I'm not the smartest fucking dude in the world. Like,
right.
I spend more time in the gym than I spend reading. So it's like, you can do it. It's not that difficult. I was living in my car at 21 years old. So it's like
similar.
Junkie, loser.
What kind of car?
I mean, a 498 Ranger.
Okay.
That was better.
Oh,
yeah,
it's a little better.
98 Ranger. It was me and my white pit bull, Rocky.
That's awesome.
Slept in it a bunch of times. I mean, living in my car is, I was couch surfing. I would just go from whoever would let me crash for 2 weeks to go to whoever would let, and then in between, if I needed to crash my car, if I was too up to drive or something like that, I would just sleep there. And like, he had a little bed in the back, and I just on the front or in the front, like, whichever works for me at that point in time. You know what I mean? Whichever way my head decided
to fall at that moment.
Which now I nap all the time, but it's like I'll be napping like at my desk. I'll just be like, I'm like famous.
Same face, same exact face.
Just like, but it's like the carbs that do it now. Like, I remember I ate a burrito at my desk the one day. This is when I was doing personal training, and I like nodded out, and like somebody came over, my eyes were bloodshot, and they're like, "Are you high?" And I was like, "No, I ate a burrito." And just like, it was like a destroyer from fucking raw burritos. It's like,
never had that place.
oh, dude, it's literally, their regular burritos are like this. The destroyers,
Are they?
this. It's a huge burrito. It's like 3 pounds.
But I really want tacos mi tierra. I was thinking about that today.
I might have to stop at Nito while I'm up here. You know, I don't know.
But anyway, man, we appreciate you coming on, man. It was great talking to you.
Absolutely.
If you guys want to reach out to him, let them know. Like where they get. I know you gave your Instagram, but give everything again. So if they want to reach out, questions, want to buy any of your products, give everybody a little
So the e-com site is houseofgains.com. You can find me on Instagram at Lord of the Gains. You can find any of my stores at houseofgains _ whatever town we're in. You can stop by any of my retail stores if you can't get a hold of me, because sometimes I don't answer all of my messages anymore. All my employees are trained to answer whatever questions almost identically to what I would do, and they're non-commission based. So my entire structure is nobody that works for me is commission based, because I don't want them recommending products to somebody to make money. I want them to recommend products to somebody to help better their lifestyle. That's a core value of ours. Do not ever hustle customers. Never do it. And that has built a lot of trust, and that's why we've been able to grow as fast and come as far as we have. And customers respond to that because they don't want to feel like they're getting hustled, especially when it comes to their health, young people, old people, all that stuff. So you feel free to walk in any of the stores. And yeah, just keep an eye out, because I got a lot of fun stuff in the tank. One of my biggest things that we're going to focus on now is content. I have like I did that Ric Flair video, bro, and like I'm doing it.
That thing,
and like,
that was awesome.
I'm having fun. It got shared on Ric Flair's fucking page, dude. Like, and I'm just like, all right, like this is what I want to do. So if you're not sure who I am, you will find out soon.
That's awesome.
I mean, because we're at the stage now, like when I liquidate the portfolio and everything, I'm like, let's just go. Let's just have fun with it, bro, because everybody I know that's hyper successful is hyper focused on one thing. They get really good at it, and they have a lot of fun with it. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
You guys don't have a taco stand.
No, but I wouldn't hate having a taco
I would
stand.
love
It'd be cool to have free tacos.
Yeah.
That would
like
be
it would
amazing.
take away from being able to flip houses
and do what we do.
That'd be great, actually.
So
great idea.
We're gonna do taco stand.
I really want tacos right now. I don't know why I've been wanting them all day.
For finding gas pumps.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
And a statue.
I feel like that would have been a great name for that.
Chase the punch. That's not a bad idea.
But
Talk to him after. Maybe we can
figure it
take
out.
it in.
I got people. I'm always willing to invest in other stuff.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
all right, well, thank you guys again. We will catch you next Monday on another episode of The Real Podcast. Nico, Eric, and thanks, Matt, for joining us today.
Thank you guys
Matt.
for having
I
me.
appreciate it.